Welcome to our study on how Satan gains a foothold in a believer's life. Today, we embark on a journey to understand the spiritual dynamics that can hinder our walk with God, and allow Satan to have more influence on our lives and how we can overcome these footholds. Let's delve into the common footholds that can disrupt our spiritual journey and our freedom in Christ. These include unforgiveness, habitual sin, occult involvement, generational curses, and unhealed trauma or inner vows. Each of these can open doors to spiritual challenges. Unforgiveness is a powerful foothold that opens the door to torment and bitterness. As Matthew 18:34-35 illustrates, the unforgiving servant was handed over to tormentors, highlighting the spiritual law that unforgiveness gives demons the right to cause or influence tormenting events in our lives. Habitual sin is another foothold that grants repeated access to darkness. Romans 6:16 reminds us that we become slaves to whom we obey, whether sin leading to death or obedience leading to righteousness. Samson's disobedience led to his downfall, showing the consequences of habitual sin. Occult involvement opens legal access to dark spiritual powers. Deuteronomy 18:10-12 warns against practices like divination and sorcery, which are abominations to the Lord. King Saul's consultation with the witch of Endor led to his demise, illustrating the dangers of occult involvement. Many new forms of the occult are present today, but with a modern spin, from the popular daily horoscope all the way to direct involvements with demonic forces. All these activities give Satan the right to have greater access in our lives. Generational curses can pass through bloodlines unless broken in Christ. Exodus 25 speaks of the iniquity of fathers affecting future generations. Abraham's repeated lie about his wife was mirrored by Isaac, showing how these curses can persist unless renounced. If not broken, strange events and many of the things that we call bad luck or misfortune or even, at times, God's will can be a direct generational curse, which can take the form of specific illnesses that affect a family, repeated kinds of financial trouble, family issues, and the list goes on. Unhealed trauma and inner vows create strongholds of fear, hatred, or self-protection. These vows, like "I'll never trust anyone again," seal the trauma instead of healing it, replacing God's truth with self-protection, allowing the enemy to build strongholds. Key scriptures address the power of words and thoughts in overcoming trauma. Proverbs 18:21 and Lamentations 3:19-20 highlight the impact of our words and memories, while 2 Corinthians 10:4-5 emphasizes the divine power we have to destroy strongholds and take thoughts captive to obey Christ. Now, let's explore examples of individuals who overcame inner vows and trauma through God's intervention. These stories illustrate the transformative power of faith and divine guidance. Peter's denial and fear, stemming from his inner vow of failure, were healed by Jesus. In John 21, Jesus asks Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" reversing the denial and recommissioning him, showcasing the healing power of Christ's love. Gideon faced an identity crisis, hiding in fear due to oppression. His inner vow, "I am the least," was dismantled by God's prophetic word in Judges 6:12, renewing his identity and calling him a mighty man of valor. Jacob's conditional vow at Bethel, made out of fear, was transformed by God. Though initially operating from fear, Jacob's journey led to full surrender, as seen in Genesis 32, where he wrestled with God and found peace. Naomi's bitterness, expressed through her vow, "Call me Mara," was transformed by God's grace. Her story in Ruth 1:20-21 shows how God restored her joy through Ruth and Obed, turning bitterness into a stronghold of joy. David's shame after his sin with Bathsheba was healed through confession. Psalm 32 and 51 reveal how unconfessed guilt tormented him, but only through confession did he find relief and restoration. Moses' insecurity, rooted in past rejection, was overcome by God's calling. Despite his inner vow of inadequacy, God provided signs and a helper, Aaron, proving Moses' vow wrong and affirming his leadership. Jeremiah's fear of youth was addressed by God, who affirmed his calling despite his self-doubt. Jeremiah 1:7 shows how God empowered him to speak, regardless of his age, demonstrating divine affirmation and empowerment. In summary, we see how various individuals overcame vows and trauma through divine intervention. From Peter's restored calling to Jeremiah's empowerment, these stories highlight the spiritual outcomes of surrendering to God's truth. As we conclude, take a moment to reflect on any inner vows you may have made. Write them down and recall the truth that our weapons are not of the flesh but have divine power to destroy strongholds. Stand against these vows in prayer, embracing the freedom found in Christ.